Fast food burgers, epitomized by global icons like the Big Mac from McDonald's and the Whopper from Burger King, represent the quintessential ultra-processed meal, fast, cheap, addictive, and widely accessible. Yet behind their marketing as satisfying comfort food lies a troubling composition of low-grade meat, refined carbohydrates, excess sodium, and industrial fats and additives. While the occasional indulgence may seem harmless, the regular consumption of fast food burgers has been repeatedly linked to obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, digestive disorders, and even mental health deterioration. Their popularity masks the complexity of their health impact, one that extends beyond individual ingredients into a pattern of eating that drives systemic disease. A critical issue begins with the beef patty itself. While advertised as 100% beef in many cases, the reality is that these patties are often made from low-grade cuts, ground together with fat trimmings, connective tissue, and occasionally even meat from multiple animals. The quality of this meat is generally far below that found in fresh, unprocessed beef, and it is typically sourced from industrial feedlots where cattle are raised on grain-based diets, treated with antibiotics, and exposed to hormone injections to accelerate growth. The end result is a highly fatty, often omega-6, rich meat with pro-inflammatory properties. Furthermore, the industrial processing of meat can introduce advanced glycation end products, AGEs, and oxidized lipids, which are known contributors to chronic inflammation and vascular damage. But the meat is just one part of the problem. The buns used in fast food burgers are made from refined white flour, sugar, and emulsifiers, resulting in a high glycemic index food that spikes blood sugar rapidly and delivers virtually no fiber. These buns often contain dough conditioners, bleaching agents, and preservatives such as azotocarbonamide, infamously dubbed the yoga mat chemical, which helps retain softness for weeks at a time. The combination of highly processed meat and refined carbs creates a metabolic cocktail that elevates insulin levels, disrupts appetite regulation, and contributes to insulin resistance over time. The sauces, especially special sauces like the Big Mac sauce or Whopper's mayonnaise blend, are loaded with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, high-fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamate, MSG, and artificial flavorings. These compounds are designed to enhance flavor, trigger the brain's dopamine pathways, and increase the bliss point of the meal, making you crave more while feeling less full. Regular intake of these flavor-enhanced foods can dull the body's natural satiety signals and create an eating environment that promotes overeating, particularly in children and adolescents who are still developing their taste preferences and impulse control. Another silent health threat comes from the sodium load of a typical fast food burger. A single Big Mac contains over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, while a Whopper offers up to 1,200 milligrams, not including fries or a soda. This accounts for roughly half the daily recommended intake in one sandwich. Chronic excess sodium is strongly associated with elevated blood pressure, increased stroke risk, and fluid retention. When consumed alongside salty fries and a sugary drink, as is typical in fast food combos, the salt burden becomes even more overwhelming. The cooking process also contributes to the toxicity of fast food burgers. Griddled or flame-broiled patties, especially those prepared at high temperatures, produce heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, both of which are mutagenic and potentially carcinogenic. These compounds form when muscle meat is cooked over open flames or high heat, and repeated exposure may increase the risk of cancers, particularly of the colon, prostate, and pancreas. Beyond physical health, fast food burger consumption has implications for mental well-being. A growing body of research suggests that ultra-processed foods, especially those rich in saturated fats, sugar, and additives, may play a role in depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. These meals are often devoid of key nutrients needed for mental health, such as omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, and magnesium, while introducing elements that disrupt gut microbiota, a critical player in the gut-brain axis. The result is a meal that leaves the brain undernourished and more vulnerable to mood instability over time. Fast food burgers also reinforce an unsustainable food culture. They promote speed over mindfulness, cost-cutting over quality, and convenience over nutrition. Their mass production relies on intensive agriculture, deforestation for feed crops, and high fossil fuel consumption for processing, packaging, and transportation. Each burger consumed carries not just a personal health cost, but also an environmental and ethical footprint that is largely invisible to the consumer. For children and teenagers, who are especially targeted by fast food advertising, the risks are magnified. Regular consumption of fast food burgers has been linked to early onset of obesity, prediabetes, poor academic performance, and shortened attention spans. The normalization of fast food as a daily or weekly meal trains younger generations to accept chemical-laden, hyperpalatable foods as the standard, diminishing their exposure to whole foods and critical nutrients during crucial developmental years. Some may argue that occasional fast food indulgence is unlikely to cause harm. And while this is true in isolation, the problem lies in frequency and substitution. These meals often displace more nutritious options, and for millions of people, especially in food deserts or lower-income areas, they become a routine source of calories rather than a rare treat. This habitual reliance, compounded by aggressive marketing and addictive food design, ensures that fast food burgers remain a silent contributor to the global chronic disease epidemic. In conclusion, fast food burgers represent one of the most potent examples of how ultra-processed, low-nutrient, industrially engineered foods can undermine long-term health. From heart disease and cancer to cognitive dysfunction and environmental harm, their true cost far exceeds the price listed on the menu board. While they may offer convenience, familiarity, and fleeting satisfaction, the long-term risks, metabolic, mental, and ecological, make them a choice best limited with vigilance, especially when the alternative is as simple as a home-cooked meal with real ingredients.